Hi, I'm back. I've had a lot on my mind today, and I wanted to make a video about loss. You know, loss doesn't have to mean the loss of life. We lose a lot of things during the course of our life. We do lose people, and that is hard, and that's what most people think of when they hear the word loss. But we lose a lot of things. We can lose hope. We can lose faith. We can lose our hair. We can lose our appetite. And those of us dealing with cancer, we experience a lot of loss. I'm not saying others don't. I'm just speaking on the topic that's related to me at the current moment. This is all new to me. In my first video, I didn't touch on the subject I'm about to touch on. But up until January of 2021, I had never dealt closely with cancer. I never had a close family member that had cancer, that lived close to me, that I was around. I'd never had a friend that had had cancer. I'd never even had a really close associate that was going through cancer. So in January of 2021, we were blindsided. My husband was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. I'm sorry, I'm moving so much, guys. I'm a little bit nervous. My husband was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer in January of 2021. He fought, and he fought hard. That's all he wanted, was to beat cancer. Sadly, he did not. He lasted almost exactly a year. He did pass away January 8th of 2022. That was just a little shy of 2 months before 2 to 3 months before my whole situation started. And something that I've said to people is, and it's hard to say it without making it sound wrong or sound bad, but if I was going to be diagnosed with cancer at any time, I'm glad he was gone before it happened. Because as strong as he was, and as determined as he was to make it through it for himself, I don't think, even if he was healthy, even if he had never been diagnosed with cancer, I don't think he could have took seeing me with cancer. That would have been a nightmare to him. I'm sorry. So that was my first major loss surrounding my current situation. I'm not saying I've never lost anybody or anything before in the past, of course. Absolutely, I have. Everyone has. Okay. But my first major loss in this time frame was when I lost my husband in January. I went into a very deep depression. I laid on the couch. I didn't cook dinner. I didn't go to the grocery store. I didn't clean my house. I didn't do anything for about 6 to 7 weeks. And then one day, I woke up and I said, I can't do this. I have children. I have a home that we just purchased. August 1st, 2021 was our move-in date. I have responsibilities. I have things that have to be done. I can't live my life on this couch. So I got up. I did get professional help. I was put on medication, and it helped me. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in asking for help. There's no shame in doing what you need to do to be okay, you know? Whether it's, some people don't want to take medication. Some people don't want to see a doctor. If it's severe, I mean, I do suggest it, but do what works for you. Talk to someone, whether it's a close friend, a family member, a clergy person, someone at your local church, something. If you don't want to go to a doctor, talk to somebody, and then, like I said, if it is severe like mine was, reach out, ask for help, Um, so my point with this whole story is, and I've said it to people close in my life, I've said it before, that had I not gotten that help and got started on that medication and started on that road to recovery as far as mentally before my cancer diagnosis, if that had not happened and then I was diagnosed with cancer, I would have been in a padded room somewhere. I'm not going to say I would have hurt myself, because I would never do that because of my children. But I don't think my mind could have taken it had I not already been strengthening my mind, And so that was my first real loss with this, And then when you go to the doctor and you talk to the people, excuse me, when you go to the doctor and you're talking to the nurses and the dietitians and the chemo nurses, and everybody, they tell you all the symptoms, that you may feel or you may go through, and two of the big ones are loss of appetite and loss of hair. Okay. Since day one, when I was diagnosed, I said, I'm okay with losing my hair. That's not a big deal to me. I understand to some women it is. It really affects some women, and I get that 100%. But for me personally, it's not a big deal. I wear my hair slicked back 99.9% of the time anyway. So when that first chunk of hair comes out, when I start my treatments, it's gone. The clippers are coming out. I'll probably do it on video. We'll probably get a good laugh out of it. It's fine. You can laugh about it. It's fine. This is a discussion I just had with my mom and my daughter just a couple days ago. People don't know how to take me because I joke about having cancer. And I know I don't joke about other people having cancer. Okay, I want to get that clear right now. I don't joke about other people having cancer. But I laugh about my situation because the way that I feel is I can either laugh about it or cry about it. And I can't cry about it 100% of the time. Do I have my moments? Yes. Am I tearing up right now just talking into this camera? Yes. But I have to be strong. And I am strong. And especially in front of my children, my parents. Nobody wants to see their child go through the things that I'm going through. Nobody wants to see their mom go through the things that I'm going through. And I know that. I know that they don't like it. And who can blame them, So I just feel like the most that I can do is to be positive and be positive in front of them so that they see that. And you know what? That makes them be positive as well. It's just something that you've got to do. You can't just lay down and give up. You can't. And to all of you that are newly diagnosed, please, please, if you don't listen to anything else I say, please listen to that. You have to keep going. You have to keep smiling. You have to still live your life. If nothing else, you need to live it more than you usually did, or more than everybody else is. You know, you have to have those happy times, you know, because you just never know. When my husband died, he was not on hospice. He was not bedridden. We did not know those were his last days. I mean, he was still up and running and not running physically, but he was still up and moving and going places and driving and shopping. And, you know, we had no idea that the end was coming. But you know what? He wasn't just laying there waiting to die. And you can't. I know it's a tough subject. And that was the thing with him. He didn't want to know anything. Like, he didn't want to know how bad it was. He didn't want to know what his prognosis was. He just wanted to continue on. That's all he wanted to do. He wanted to get better. He wanted to feel better. And that was it. You know, I'm a little bit different. I want to know exactly what's going on. You know, I want the doctors to be straight up with me. I don't want them to sugarcoat anything, you know, because I don't want the surprise or the shock that happened to me to happen to someone else, you know. So, I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of scatterbrained, but another thing that I want to touch on is don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. You know, some things you lose you can't control. You know, if I lose my hair, I can't control that. If I lose my appetite, I can't control that. And that's the big thing. I'm more okay with losing my hair than I am with losing my appetite. If you can't tell, I love to eat and I love food. So that is going to affect my life more than losing my hair. I mean, you know, whatever. I'll get some pretty scarves. I'll do whatever, you know, as far as my hair goes. But losing my appetite, that's something I'm definitely not looking forward to. But those are things that I cannot control. I can control how I deal with it, and I can control what I do about it, but I can't control whether it happens or not. But with hope and faith and positivity, I can control that. And those are things that I don't want to lose. I'm not saying I never will, and I'm not saying there will be times where I'm not positive. There may be times when I question my faith. There may be times when I question if there's any more hope. You know, I don't look forward to those days, but I'm not going to sit here and say it'll never happen. It might, you know, but guess what? When it does, I will talk to somebody and I will assess the situation and I will get through it. And I will be positive again, you know. Just because the negativity sinks in doesn't mean you have to keep it there. You know, you just have to work through it. And even if it catches you at a time where you don't have someone you can reach out to, work through it in your own mind. You know, be like, okay, what's different now than it was however long ago I was feeling positive? You know, whether it was 5 minutes ago or 5 hours ago, you know, however long ago it was when you remember being positive, work it in your mind. What changed from then to now? What changed? Am I sitting here getting bored and negative thoughts are creeping in? You know, and if that's the case, get up and do something if you're able. You know, I understand that sometimes with this disease, we don't feel like doing anything. We may not even be physically able to do anything at some points. Thank God I haven't had that yet. I do have times where it hurts to do things, but I still try to do them anyway without overdoing it, but I've never got to the point yet where I wasn't physically able to do something. Um, so, assess the situation, figure out in your mind where the negativity is coming from, or, what's causing you to feel that way, and try to work it out. There's always something that you can do. Listen to an audio book. Watch a show, a funny show that'll make you laugh and forget about things. I was having a horrible day the other day. Horrible. My back was hurting so bad. I didn't feel like doing anything. I could barely get up off the couch. And one of my friends sent me a link to a guy on TikTok, and I cracked up. And I told her, I said, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you, And I hadn't even told her I was feeling that bad. But we were just talking, and she was like, hey, check this out. And I watched it, and it was hilarious, It's just little things like that. You just have to find something that brings you joy, even if it's for a small time. Find something that gets your mind off of it. Find something that will make you laugh when you feel like crying. Find something, and I'm not saying to suppress it either. Sometimes it's good to cry, Sometimes you just have to let it out, and that's okay too. You just can't let it linger. That's the problem. You can't let it linger, because when it lingers, that's when it affects the rest of your body. People don't understand how important or how strong our minds are. If you sit long enough and think, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, you will eventually be sick. Or if you sit and think long enough, whatever the thing is, you will talk yourself into that situation. You really will. I mean, I've seen it happen. So you can't let it linger. Even if you have a good cry, even if you want to go outside and scream to the sky, why are you doing this to me, God? Whatever it is that you do when you get frustrated, do it. But do it and be done with it. You can't be that way 24/7. It's not going to help the situation at all. Stress is not good when you have cancer. Stress is not good when you have anything. Even if you're healthy, stress is not good. It can cause high blood pressure. It can cause anxiety. It can cause heart issues. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying these are the things that I've experienced myself. So stress is not good. Everybody's going to have it. You got to find a way to deal with it, and then you've got to move to something else. And I'm sorry, if the format of these videos, I understand this is probably not very entertaining, just watching somebody sit in a chair talking about medical issues and how bad they feel and blah, 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 blah. I understand. I probably wouldn't want to watch it either. But the point is, I'm just getting this started, guys. I'm brand new at this. I'm going to try to start doing more things when I'm out and about. Maybe if me and my daughter are out shopping, I may take little clips of that. Or, if me and my son go to do something fun, something. I'm going to try to show that it's not just me sitting at home all the time. It doesn't have to be that way just because you have cancer. It doesn't. As long as I feel like getting up and going, I will get up and go. And even if I don't feel like it, if I'm able to do it, I will do it. Okay, guys. I'm sorry about that. My dogs are going crazy in here for some reason. So, I just had a few things on my mind. If you are watching these videos, I do really appreciate it. I do from the bottom of my heart. I wish everybody the best. And another thing, is detection and prevention with cancer. I'm only 39 years old. They don't even usually recommend you start colonoscopies and things like that until age 40. The first doctor that I saw that removed the abdominal tumors, he was a gynecologic oncologist. He looked at me and he said, "You are so young to be going through all this." Even he acknowledged that, that it was odd for my age for me to, be going through this. So my point with all this is, even though they don't recommend it, or any test, even though they don't recommend it to a certain time period, or you have to wait a year since you had the last test, or you have to wait till you're 50 or 40 or whatever the case is, just because that's the recommendation, if you feel like something's not right and you feel like there may be something going on, make them do the test. If the first doctor won't do it, go to another doctor. Find someone that will do the tests that you need them to do. Because if you're having symptoms and things like that, then they need to check it out. And I strongly believe, and I'm not placing blame here, but I strongly believe the reason mine was so advanced and so bad by the time it was caught is because I had just spent the whole prior year focusing 100% on my husband's health. I was not paying attention to the signs and the symptoms, guys. By the time I went to the ER that first night, my stomach was like a 9-month pregnant woman. It was so tight, I didn't have one roll, one crease, one anything. My stomach was tight as a watermelon, and it was sticking out. I mean, just like I was about to give birth, and I shouldn't have let it go that far. That should have been something that I caught way before that. But I wasn't focusing on myself, and that's how I am. I'm a giver. I'm a caregiver. If I take care of others is what I'm trying to say, before myself. And I was completely focused on getting him better and how he felt and the symptoms he was having. And I'm glad I did that. Like I said, I'm not placing blame at all, 0%, because I'm glad that I did that, because he knew I cared and he knew that he was my main focus no matter what. And, but you got to pay attention to your body. Your body will tell you when something's wrong. But there are a lot of these cancers, guys. I did a lot of research on ovarian cancer because that's what I was first diagnosed with, misdiagnosed with. And do you know, because I didn't, do you know that there are no early detection tests for ovarian cancer? It's not like with colon cancer where you can go get a colonoscopy and boom, they find it. There are no early detection tests like that they can do for ovarian cancer. So unless you're having symptoms and you're going in and you're complaining that you're having pain or whatever the case is, which sometimes doesn't happen until it's advanced, they're not going to find it, and that freaks me out. It's like, we're in 2022. What is going on? And my mom thinks that every single person should get a PET scan once a year, because a PET scan scans your whole body, head to toe, and any rapidly dividing cells, which is what cancer is, any rapidly dividing cells will light up on a PET scan. So that is, that's how they usually diagnose. Now, it's a little bit different with colon cancer. And I don't really want to get into that right now. I'm going a little long. But that's really the only way, to get an early detection is with a PET scan. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Not at this point. And it's sad, but you just have to pay attention to your body. And I'm begging you guys. I never dreamed I'd be in this situation. I never dreamed I'd be going through this. Even when my husband was diagnosed and I went through that year with him, I never dreamed I was going to be next. Nobody ever thinks it's going to be them. You just don't until it happens. But we'll deal with it, guys. We'll be positive. I'm going to show you that you can still have fun even though you have cancer. I know these first two videos have kind of been humdrum, a little bit boring. I understand. I'm just trying to get you guys familiar with me, familiar with my mindset, familiar with what's going on in my head and in my world. And then we'll try to do some fun stuff, like I said, when I'm out and about, because I want to show people, a big point of this video is to help other people that may feel alone when they're newly diagnosed. And you're not alone, and you don't have to just sit down and give up. You can still, I went to a concert the other night and had the time of my life. I've been to 2 concerts since I've been diagnosed. I saw Snoop Dogg and I saw Clay Walker this past Friday night. Today is Monday, so just a few days ago. I had a great time, with some great friends. And I should have did a little bit of videoing, but I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about enjoying myself, and I did. Like I said, cancer is not always an immediate death sentence, and you don't have to treat it that way. You just don't. But I'm going to go ahead and go, guys. I know with the longer videos, people probably won't watch them all the way through, and that's okay. I understand. I do ask that you please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you agree, disagree, have any questions, and that's fine. I'm just giving my personal experience, my personal opinions. And if you have a differing one, let me know, or if you have any ideas or recommendations or, anything that I haven't mentioned that you know about, let me know in the comments. I'm open to hear what anybody has got to say. But I love you guys. I wish you the best. God bless you and good night.